Okay, we got this hideout. I just come in. These are some of the quick repairs we did for them because you needed to travel with it. So we did these repairs. This whole edge was all ripped. So we just put this on here again just so he could go camping, and then he brought it back. This is what we got. Same scenario as all the other ones. Slobbered on caulking, slobbered on all the way here and here, and then this is supposed to be a insert right here to protect all this, but it either fell out or someone didn't put it in. But all they do is slobber over those screws. So we're just starting to pull it apart now. We just haven't got it all. I think there's a piece up front there that we took off so far, and there's your plumbing right there. There's another couple of patches we did down here. But if you have something like this right here, you want to make sure you get that sealed on that boot right there. See, that water is going to go right down in there. That's where it'll go. So you want to seal it and push that boot down. That'll rot out all around, and then eventually it become a serious problem. We don't put these back on anyways, so we strongly recommend not to. I think we've probably put 2 on, but it looks like it's broke anyways right there. Yeah, it's already broke.
Oh, it's disconnected.
Well, that's not supposed to be like that. It's somehow broke or somebody cut it. I've never seen one like that.
Looks like it's busted.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got. Same thing with the AC. You can see how low it is. When we build that up, it'll have better drainage. You won't have pollen. Doesn't feel like the roof deck is too bad. A little hole right here. You can see some rust in here. See, on something like this is a good thing to show you here. So now the RV industry, their great marketing plan is to put more of that die coat junk on here. So you put more on, and you keep putting more on and more on. And the only ones you keep putting more on is a moron. There's something wrong with that system. But just imagine you keep putting more on here, right? So you see how much they got for that first layer. What was that, probably 1/8 of an inch? So let's say you put another 1/8, another 1/8, another 1/8. You're going to stack it up. You're going to have a moat. And what's going to happen is this is all going to rust out. The water that gets trapped in there, when the sunlight hits it, turns to a magnifying glass, and it'll really do some damage. So eventually you're going to be replacing that as well. If they're little rust holes, if you catch it. If they're just small little rust holes that you can barely see, then it'll start wicking water in there, and we have other issues. This feels like a TPO roof, though. It doesn't feel like a rubber roof.
TPO.
It is? Yeah. So here's another common area. The way this thing's shaped, let me show you here. I'll step back, and you can see how this just noses down. All that water is going to come down here, and this is what's going to happen. Okay? You'll get water that'll try to infiltrate in here. We just cut this ourselves. So, look at there. See, I was right. See how it come right in there? We got a little bit right there. That's pretty common. Yep. So this is their cheap blend of TPO. This is really cheap. So it's we use TPO. The stuff we use is all commercial. The best way to kind of describe it, this is a low budget type product, but the best way that I could describe it is it's like General Motors made the Chevy Chevette, and they also make the Cadillac Escalade. So 2 totally different vehicles for sure. And what I'm looking for is a piece of our roofing. See if I can find a piece, and I will show you the difference on how thick what we have compared to the other. See, trying to clean the shop up, and now I can't find nothing. You see something? Ah, right behind me. Okay, right behind me. Oh, these are the protective strips that we use. I'll get down this way. See, same rust right here. I got a piece right here. I'll show you. All right. So someone slobbered more on there. But overall, the roof deck doesn't look too bad. All right. So, look at the, see if we can notice the difference on here. Like you can, this piece isn't even as thick as the top of our membrane. See if I get a little closer. That's how thin that is. That is super thin. So, this is a structured membrane. This is a commercial one. This one you're going to find on a hotel, you find it in an office building, a library, but if you a restaurant. But if you look at it, you'll see. Trying to see if I get the little squares in there. You may not see it in there. This is, maybe see some fibers in there, and this is those little squares you see. It looks like a screen. That is a mesh that they build inside there, give it some what's called tensile strength. And tensile strength is when something comes down. That's tensile. So it's for impacts on hail. It's for impacts on even tree branches and things like that. So that's a structured membrane right there. Shear strength is things going laterally this way, back and forth horizontally. That would be a lateral movement. And that's what shear strength is. This has a lot of tensile strength. So, and then obviously once we glue it down, it's super strong. Here's another big old pocket right here. So, but that's what we got so far in this hideout. You can see right here, this is drywall mesh that they use. These strips right here, that roll, we slice them up, and they're going to go across like this and cover that joint. That's what it's going to do. And also, one of the other things that I don't like is when they do these shoulders, all they use is, this is just black Gorilla tape. So this fiberglass is coming up right here, and you can kind of see what's going on there. It's getting kind of chafed. There isn't a lot of strength to hold that. So, okay, there you go. Okay, that's all they got. And then you have that piece right there. That's the siding right here, so it's coming up. But all they're using to protect it with is literally duct tape. That's it. It's just duct tape. So it really doesn't have a lot of strength. And again, you can see it doesn't work very well because you're still getting those marks on there, which will eventually breach this. When it does, it'll leak down in there, much like that other side that I showed you, the repairs we did. So what we'll do is we'll take this here. We're going to wrap it on the corner like that. And then we'll also have some protective strips up underneath that, underneath the front turn bar, back turn bar. We put it everywhere. So this is the insert trim. I don't even like this too much. I don't know if I can change that one out. But this one, you can get. This one is a snap-in. What I don't like about those, let's see if I can get my pocket knife out. Okay, so what this does, it just pops out, see? That's it. What I don't like about it is that it snaps in here, just sits. The water can still get in there. And when water gets in the bottom part of that track, moisture it'll get down inside that little track, and then it'll run down all the way here, and it can travel. So especially if you're going to block all this up, if you block it all up, now that moisture, it's got to go somewhere, right? Eventually it's going to rust out something in there, and then you have some damage in there. So that's why I'm not really a fan of this type. And the strange thing about it is the other stuff that we use, it snaps under this piece and it snaps over, so it locks everything out. However, I can't get it in black. They make a whole ton of it and I can buy as much as I want in white. He says, but no one in the RV industry uses it. He said, well, they should use it. Now, I don't know if I'll end up putting the white on here or not. I'll see. It probably wouldn't matter if it was white, but I'll see. Now this style is an actual snap over, but there's a different type of track on here too, so I can't use that on here. If I could, then I would. But anyhow, so this one has a gutter in it. So that's where we're at so far with this. Kind of give you an update on what we got going on. You see? And that's what it is so far. We'll end up raising this up with a curb. That'll be gone. Probably put a different antenna on there. We'll raise the skylight up as well. That's really flimsy. We'll end up raising that skylight up. Hopefully it's going to be in good shape and it's not going to be tore up. And then the same with the plumbing. I'll make a special boot for that. I'll make a special boot for that. Special boots for the ladders over there. If you can see that. That's the ladder. I'll make special boots for those. Then everything will be raised up. You won't have to worry about it. And then it all gets heat welded together. So just keep watching and you'll see how we put it together. You can see this mark right here already. See this mark going right here? That's where a panel is. That's That's an actual roof panel right in there. Roof deck. So you got your roof deck here, and here's the other one. You see they're 4 foot apart. You got this one here, and you got that one there. There's that one. Here's another one 4 foot apart. So those are your sheets going across. Those are your sheets going across. So, well, anyhow, I'll give you some more updates when we keep it going. This is our hideout so far. And some of the other things, so now we're going to wrap this awning. Well, we wrap the door, make sure everything's all protected. We got little cushions right there. Want to make sure nothing hits your coach. You know, then we'll end up getting some more padding up inside there. We want to put that in there. You know, like I said, we'll get something to wrap the awning. We want to make sure everything's well protected. You know, we got them all on every one of these. So we got enough room in there, but just in case, as you're walking across, we just want to make sure it'll be protected. We'll be back with our hideout. So we are replacing this back piece. That's what we're doing there. And then once we get that done, once we get that jam off that staple, the other thing we're going to do is refasten this entire roof deck. Make sure it is down tight. We're gonna, every single truss, we're gonna refasten just to make sure it's all down there nice and tight. But we already got this glued. You see all the glue we got in there. So. Welcome to the world of Keystone. All right, we got another one of these deals going on here where Keystone just decided not to glue anything. This is just flapping in the wind. That's it, not any glue at all on here. So we just did one on the gateway, same thing, and we had the same problem. And what was happening, I don't know if you can see it, but it was real poofy in here, you know. So like I said, there's not any glue at all. I guess Gateway is trying to save $1 or $2 on the glue, but they'll charge you that extra $1 somewhere else, and rest assured it's not covered under your warranty. So we'll have to put some more sheathing behind there like we did the other one. Put some sheathing on here, and then, you know, we'll glue and fasten sheathing to this, and then we'll glue this piece back on and laminate it back together. But I mean, you can just see this. I mean, you can actually see there's no glue at all. This thing was not put on. So the only thing holding this end, this corner, there's a corner mold that goes on here. That was holding it. This light is holding it. Sneak around here. Window frame. That was holding that portion. So here's your corner mold. That's it. As soon as we take this corner mold, this whole thing will want to flop off. That's pretty bad. And then we'll make sure that these have some hard stock behind there to hold that ladder. That's a big concern as well. So we'll get all that cleaned up. I hate that butyl. This stuff makes a mess. But anyhow, that's what we're working on right now. So we'll get her all taken apart, and we're trying to get the roof on. We just finished stapling the roof down, so we're gonna probably get some roofing on there. Anyways, we can still do that and then flip it back, because it just takes a bit for that glue to flash off when we do it. So that's probably what we're going to start doing, and then we can start working on this while that glue is kind of setting up. But that's the same exact thing as that Gateway. Keystone just don't want to put the glue on there. So I think this is a 2015. I think this is a 2015. So, but that's what we're working on. We'll keep you updated. Let's get a hideout update. It's a wonderful world of Keystone right here. So we showed you on this back wall that there's no glue at all. Just did another one just like it. This is how they hold in everything with these staples. That's how they hold it all in. So now we're going to put sheathing over it, and then we'll have it all glued, so that'll actually give it some strength on there. But that's how they put it in. Now something else that we may address though is, which is a concern, which I'm looking for, is where the ladder mounts. I don't see any blocking up there. Normally you see blocking that'll go in for the ladder. That's what I'm trying to find. I can't see it. Unless it's on the, I'm not sure it's on the, which side the ladder's on. Huh. I don't know which side the ladder is on. So, but that's what we're going to be looking for. I'm guessing the ladder is going to be on this side because the window is there. So, but I don't see any blocking in there, so we're going to make sure we got solid block in there, so when that ladder gets screwed in, it's screwed into something solid, you know. So we got this fan here, we're trying to dry it out, then we're going to hit it with some mold kill, but all this is all rotted down here. It's all mush. You can see that right there. So he's got some issues here. He said he'll deal with that. So we'll put some strength behind here, probably with some foam or something to pull that back. This is just the other side on the back here. That's all that is. But this underbelly should be covering all that, is what it's supposed to be doing. But we'll get all that straightened away. But we're not going to tear out more than what we have to, but we will make sure it's all mold killed. And because it may be hard to try to actually dig in here because you got the frame. Now once you get the frame, you'd have to try to dig in through all that stuff. I don't know if he wants to go all that route, especially for something that wouldn't really make a difference. We'll figure all that out when I start getting into it, and if there is a way I can get in there, I may do it. Maybe instead of putting the wood in there, I may fold up some metal and put a piece of aluminum in the back. So we'll see. And but like you said, you can see how some of this feels, the bottom is really rotted here. That is real mush. Hoping this camera's picking it up. Maybe if I come back like that way, you can see how that's just mulch. So that's why we're drying it all out. It's obviously a lot easier to work with. Even if the wood is dry and rotted, it's still a lot easier to cut and to work with. And so that's where we're at with this. But now Keystone doesn't want to put any glue on these. I guess they're still saving themselves yet another $1. And the only thing holding this on is that corner mold that goes here, the lights, window, lights, you know, those things, and the ladder. That's the only thing that was holding it on. And that bottom piece there too. That's it. So none of it was, you know, clapping when you pushed on it. You could feel it was just hitting the stud against there. So, and like I said, we got all this wet insulation out of here. That's why all this is gone. And he obviously had some damage here before. And that just goes inside to this little, I guess it's a kitchen or something. So he said he was going to fix all that anyways. So that's probably all this. Maybe something he could do himself, save himself $1. He doesn't have to sit in our shop if he's able-bodied to do it. So we'll keep you updated on anything else when we start going along with it. But it's going to be straightforward. Reframe it, sheath it, glue it, sheath it, fasten it on, then glue this piece on here, and get your back wall glued back on. Alright, here's our hideout. Go back here and show you the back wall. Had a little bit more concern. I think we showed you. So we ended up reframing all of that down there. I didn't like it. And then also, I think the last clip showed this was all rotted, so we replaced that. And I was saying, well, I don't know how I'll do it, but when we tore it all out, so we replaced this all, and that wrap will come around and it'll tuck it underneath. So once we did all that, we'll get that back in there in a second. Then we had to make some adjustments here, but all these pieces come together. They got to be strong, so we put some nice plate in here. And then I got another plate down here to hold this. It's real heavy and strong. I mean, this thing is not going anywhere. That is tight. So the next step is to skin this. We're going to skin it with some glue on. We'll glue it, and then we're going to fasten it on there. And then we're going to glue this back wall right here, over here, back onto the glue on. Okay, so we got the back skin on this hideout. All we're doing now is just make sure everything's smooth. Just hit it with a little sander, anything bumpy, kind of go over it. And now we got to glue this piece on right here. All right, we got our glued on. It's stuckified. Now what we're doing is just cleaning up some of the residue of the silicone that was around everything, because we got to reseal it. So that's what we're working on. Then once we get that, cut that hole, we can put the window in, And we get those marker lights up there on, and get her all pretty and ready for the prom. Hideout updates. Proud to serve. Alright, so the roof is on, as you can see. So now we're at the stage now we're putting on all of the, we got the curbs on, and then we have the antenna right there, skylight, got the refrigerator, we got all that on there. So we're moving along with this pretty good. And we still got an air conditioner and another vent up here to do. So the well, this is the way the curbs are, and you can see this recession that we put in it. So even if anything gets on here, it's gonna drool out. And then what that is, that's primer. Everything needs to be primed. And this is all heat welded, but even though it's heat welded on here, then coming around here, I'm gonna just make these corners are kind of hard to get because you really have to get it soft to make that transition. So what we do, oh, you can see it, but we put caulking up underneath there. You probably can't see it, but we caulk it. That's what the primer's for. So, all right, here's our update on our hideout. It's done. This roof is completed now. So, and I'll go over it in a little bit. What I'm doing, when I say done, it really is done. I'm going back and I'm going to put one more strike of caulking on here. We always do 2 strikes. So I'm going back and I'm going to put one more around here. Then we get the insert trim to put on. We'll get all that on there. So other than that, it's already been washed, everything's been welded, everything's down so far. So that's what I'm up to right now, putting that second layer on there. Our hideout is complete. We got our brand on there, January 2019. So we put that on there, so when this coach comes back for inspections, we can see how well this roof is performing. That's what we want to monitor. And also you can see who put this on, RV Roof Install. So you can, somebody, when you go to sell this, we do a transferable warranty the first 10 years we do. And I would not like somebody to try to talk you down for a new roof system when you already paid to put one on there. All they do is call us, we just transfer it. We get all our boots, they're all filled, welded, everything's all welded in. See the curves we make, probably easier to go on the other side. We get everything done. Right here we got an antenna. So we kind of use that black to go along with the black in the coach off of there. So we're around the other side. Kind of give you an idea of what we did here. Got all this heat welded right here. This is a 60 mil TPO. That's what it is. It's a 60 mil GAF brand TPO. It's an Everguard. So it's a structured membrane, and I'll go over that in a second what it is. I've got a sample on me. But what we did is design these curb assemblies. Once we get these curbs designed, you can see this here is all heat welded in. All this 3 inches here that we heat welded, not just the edge. So it's going to be a heck of a water drop to try to get through that. And we also put on a counter flash. That's this piece here. So as water is trying to race across the roof, if you get caught in a heavy storm, water is trying to race across the roof, it's going to hit up inside here, and then it's going to roll out. So it's going to be real hard for it to even jump. You're going to have obviously water coming down from the top. By the time it does that, we want it all to shed. So any water that does get on here, there's a recession that we created. And you can see right here, it'll hit here, which is lower, and then it'll run right out. That's what we want. We want to try to deter the water any which way. Just put on the brand new lens right here, so you might as well take that off. There we go. Again, this is all heat welded all the way around here. Got the boots the same way. Those are all heat welded in there. There's no way that can leak at all. I mean, it's just impossible for that plumbing to leak. And we see a lot of plumbing issues, or plumbing leak issues, shall we say, on typical RV coaches. Same thing here, same design, just different. They're all basically the same concept, but these are all custom made for whatever we need to do. We can do it. We'll build it here in the shop. Everything is custom made. So we get into the air conditioner, we got some stands in the back. It just adds some stability, a little balance, but the water is going to be coming down from the top as well as coming across as you get caught in a heavy storm. So again, you got your same flange and assembly like that's over there on this curb, but now when the water comes rolling around, it's going to hit that flashing, it's going to drip down, and it's going to go out that way. So there's no way it could even get up underneath into that. There's a foam gasket up underneath that side. So that's it. Now obviously this is tan. We offer gray and white, and at least you'll find that sample for you that I was talking about. Here it is. Now if you like one of these samples, all you have to do is just let us know. You can email us at contactus@rvroofinstall.com, or you can give us a call here, 423-475-7663. But these are the three colors we offer. This obviously being the white, the gray, and the tan. So what you've got here, this is a structured membrane, which I was talking about earlier. Here's the structure right there, and you can probably see that little bit of fiber there. That is a nylon mesh that's in the side. You may be able to see these little squares. That gives you impact resistance for hail and tree branches and things like that. So we'll say there was a tree branch that just popped, boom, right here. Here comes a tree branch, and we got a gash and a hole in there. Well, you don't have to tear this whole thing up and start the whole process again. All we have to do is just take some more of the roofing material, and we put a hot patch on there. That's it, and you'd be done. So that's the material right here. Again, that's a GAF brand 60 mil. That's how thick it is. It's a 60 mil GAF brand structured membrane. Then when you come over here, I don't know if you can see this, Coach. So all of these are, it's basically a seamless roof. But I'm going to show on here, this one, you can see how sharp that son of a gun comes down. That is really sharp. This also has camber going this way, and it goes this way, and then it goes down. You're asking that sheet to do a lot of work when it comes up. Once in a while, when we get into like the transitions, we'll have little puckers, especially if it's a rounded shoulder, and then we got to do a couple of folds and we heat weld them together. But on the front here, we had a really hard time trying to get this out because it's got such a camber on it, and it's going down again with all of this here. So we actually put this in. This is the second piece, and then we just heat welded it all together. But this has a 4-inch weld to it on this one, so it's not going to leak. It's done. That's the hideout. This is the hideout that we just finished here. This is the one we did the back wall on and everything. So again, if you got any questions, give us a call. We appreciate you watching. Share the video, subscribe if you haven't. There's a lot of information up on our website, rvroofinstall.com. You don't want to do these twice. That is for sure. They're too expensive to do twice. A lot of work we put into them to make sure that one of the things we've already done, and I'll give you an example of the lengths that we go to. This white, I'd like to have probably seen it in black. It doesn't look bad as white, but you can't buy that in white. Nowhere in the RV industry sells that in white. And the thing I like about this is when it goes in this track, it goes inside the track and outside. There's a groove on here, real small groove on the top and bottom side of this. Wow, I know water isn't going to get in there now. That's what I want. No water to get in. Well, you can't get this in black. So I had to special order this. I had to actually have the factory make it. I got to make it in black. So they say they've got about maybe a 6-week lead time or something before we can see the black. But I've got to buy a whole bunch of it, that's for sure. But I know it's a better product, so that's what we're going to use. We'll use it because we got them coming in here, so we'll use it. That's the thing, we just want to make sure you don't have to do this twice. So one of the other things we do, we got 2 strikes on here. That's 2 strikes of caulking. 2 strikes of caulking all the way down here. When you put your first strike down, if you've ever operated a caulking gun, you start squeezing, you'll hear it pop and crackle. You just injected an air bubble. So if you got an air bubble and you start going down the road and the coach is racking, twisting, flexing, that bubble may pop. And if it does, even though it's small, it may have a leak. What are the chances of getting one air bubble over another? That's why we do 2 layers. So we got 2 layers around everything around here. It's all 2 layers. I want to make sure it's done and we don't have any issues with it. Thanks for watching. And again, if you want one of these samples, just let us know. You can call us, you can email us. We'll be glad to get you one out.